Yes, family. Alright, I got a paper as well that I want to make sure that I cover, when I talk about water and etc. So, just to give you that heads up, I'm going to make sure that I cover a few factors before I let the people come in and ask these questions, yeah? So, with the understanding of water, I always take it back to the origin, or what scientists know as like the origin or the start of water, because water never always existed on the earth, so basically the scientists come to a conclusion that through obviously evidence and etc that the water came to earth via a meteoroid or asteroid, yeah, from the universe, collided with the earth and then formed what you called to say water. Like the sun obviously melts down the water into what we have now as the ocean and etc. So this is like the origin of how water existed on earth. Theory saying that it come via asteroid or meteor, yeah. So, and through that process, the photosynthesis with the sun, like I always talk about, microorganisms start to appear. Four major factors, which is DNA, RNA, carbohydrates, amino acids, and lipids, that forms cells, or organisms, yeah. Prokaryotic created eukaryotic, and then the story goes on. So make sure. So now, water, as we know, is very good for the body. But how does it work with the body? That's the question. Because a lot of people do a lot of stuff with the basic fundamental knowledge without going deep into a lot of stuff. We know how we utilize oxygen, but we don't actually know specifically how it works and how it corresponds with the cells and etc. and how we use the oxygen for our advantage. So everyone knows the fundamental factors, but haven't dived in deep in the scientific understanding of how this system works. So this is what Eazi does. I could be a guy that just talks about fundamental stuff and then just give you the heads up of why it's good for you. But everyone and anyone can do that. Eazi does. He takes it a step further and try to break it down for you to understand exactly how it works. Because I believe that through that you can have a better understanding and you would participate more because you have that understanding. So that's very effective for me. When I drink water or when I breathe in oxygen, now I'm more conscious and I'm more aware of why I'm doing it and how it works, and how it keeps me alive. That's why, even ancient cultures like the Kemetic society or civilization, they refer nature because they understand the science behind it. So they refer it, they pull it into symbolic form for it to be taught to the youth or anyone that lacks the knowledge in a more understanding way. So that's what Eazi's gonna do. So now we know water, H2O, molecules that combined and then create solution, because as I explained, the origin of how a meteoroid or a comet hit the earth and created what we have now as water. With water always accompanied with trace elements or minerals, so it's not just water is just not accompanied with H2O, in the natural form or state, yeah. So obviously, like I said, our cells need it. Our cells created what we have now as the body, organs, and etc. Through cells combining, creating tissue creating organs creating organisms, and etc. Yeah. So the understanding of how we use the water is where we start off with the digestive system, yeah. The digestive system starts off where we drink water, goes through your oral, goes down to your esophagus, into what you call your stomach. Your stomach holds a acidic environment, which is hydrochloric acid, yeah, which breaks down food and etc. Yeah. And within the stomach, you have hormones, yeah. Hormones is, like I explained many times before, is this messages that tells you to do things or yeah, instruct you in things, yeah. So within your stomach acid, you have a hormone called ghrelin, yeah. That's a hormone that tells your body that it needs to eat, yeah. So hormones signals get sent to your brain telling you that you need to eat, and then leptin, which is another hormone that get created by your liver, if I'm not corrected, which tells you that you had enough, you know. So we got ghrelin, which is a hormone in your stomach that tells you when you feel that you need to eat, where your stomach acid has done its job and it's released the nutrients or the time, yeah, into what you call your small intestines, and the nutrients flooding through your villi into your bloodstream. It sends hormones telling you when it's time to eat more, yeah. So ghrelin, I want you to pay attention to that term, that hormone, because we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So this is how water gets digested into your bloodstream, because water, as we know, we got trace minerals in it, but it doesn't have to go through the process of the breaking down in the stomach acid, because it's already in a liquid or micronutrient form. So it flows straight into what you call your small intestines with the duodenum and the ileum, and then you have what you call the villi. The villi is where the nutrients or the solution will run straight through into what you call the blood capillary, yeah, or your blood circulation, yeah. And as we know about blood circulation, it's just the arteries and the veins that's flowing all around your body, yeah. Just blood circulation, what you need it for is to feed your cells the nutrients, yeah. So water enters straight past the hydrochloric acid into what you call your small intestines and enter into your blood circulatory system. Circulatory system enters up into what you call your heart, where your heart generates enough electrical current that it will pump the rest of the blood all around your body, from your toes to your brain, yeah. So you got the arteries that the blood flows into, and then you got the veins that takes the system back down, because it's always like a flow and return understanding or circuit that you have. Everything within the body, it has a circuit. It's like positive and negative, or flow and return. That's what you have to see when we dissect the human body. So we know that the blood circulation gets to the heart, where it generates enough electrical magnetism so it can pump the blood all around to the vital organs or the vital parts where your blood needs to be, for it to drop off oxygen, for one, because we know that the hemoglobin holds the oxygen to the red blood cell, and even the transport of nutrients and minerals. We're talking about micronutrients, yeah. Micronutrients get break down by the stomach acids, yeah, and then push into what you call the villi, which then enters into your bloodstream. So everything is, what I'm talking about is all micro forms when it enters into the bloodstreams. You got other ways where bigger micronutrients would get fed through, which is what you call the lymphatic system. So but I'll break down all of those factors, but I'm just going to give you the fundamentals of how things run. So we got the blood circulation, yeah. The water helps with the blood circulation. The blood circulation needs water to transport the nutrients all around your body. So with the blood circulation, you have what? Red blood cells, you have plasma, and you have the micronutrients, yeah. So that's the major factors, yeah, that you might have. Plasma helps out with when you get a cut, and then it helps to rebuild the tissue and stop the bleeding. So you need plasma for that. There's another form of substance, is called fibrous, that helps with the building back the cut vein or the cut artery, you know. So you got major factors within the blood circulation, but the main factor of the blood circulation is to transport nutrients and oxygen to the cells. So with the help of water. So water is needed for the transportation of nutrients through to your vital organs and etc. Yeah. So now we travel all the way up into what you called your heart, where it pumps it all around to your body, even up to your brain. Your brain has the blood circulation around there, and the veins that also accompanies with it, because it, once the flow of the nutrients comes in, the exporting of the waste travels back down. Yeah. And so this is just the basic understanding of how and why you need water. Yeah. The water is needed for the transportation of nutrients all around your body. That's the main breakdown. I kind of went into the anatomy and how the nutrients enters into your cells, yeah, with the help of water. So now we're going to go a little bit more deep now, yeah. So we know that the water transport the red blood cells and the nutrients and the micro elements all around to your body with the red blood cells, yeah. How does it leave and enter into what you called where your normal cells will pick up, yeah. This is where it comes with the blood pressure. With blood pressure, it will build up for where it opens up little micro levers, valves for the understanding of how things work in construction fields, where there's gateways that opens up and shuts, you know, so you don't get a backflow. Yeah, this is within the blood capillaries. Yeah, this is where the nutrients get delivered to the cells. Yeah, and what happens is with that pressure and that opening of the valves, yeah, which the water helps with, it penetrates what you call the micronutrients, which is the amino acids, the proteins, the lipids, and etc., into what you called a area called the interstitial space. Yeah, interstitial space is a space between your between your blood capillary or your bloodstream or your arteries, veins to the cells. So there's a middle gap. Yeah, so your nutrients penetrates the walls, yeah, of your blood circulations and enters into what you called the interstitial space, yeah, where the cells pick it up via receptor. This space is full of with what you called interstitial fluid, yeah, which is basically based with water mixed with the micronutrients, fats, and other factors, yeah, within that space. This is where cells pick them up, because in that region it's also known as extracellular space, extracellular space and intercellular space. Extracellular space is obviously the space without on the outside of the cell. The intracellular space is the space inside the cell, yeah. With inside the cell, what you have is cytoplasma, yeah. Cytoplasma is full of the fluid, again helps out with the water supply. When we talk about fluid, majority of the fluid is accompanied with water. That's the thing. The reason why it's probably named cytoplasma or interstitial fluid is because the water is accompanied with other factors that makes it different than actually calling it water. So we're going a little bit more deep into that, yeah. So the extracellular fluid is comprised of nutrients, yeah, fats, amino acids, and we have water. This is how cells pick up the nutrients. The water needs to be present for cells, for the flow of the nutrients to enter, for the cells to even pick it up via receptors. So this is the reason why you need to be drinking water. Inside the cell, you have what you call cytoplasma. Cytoplasma is full of water. Yeah, this is where the organelles harbors. Yeah, this is all fluid. That's why they say that the body is like 70% water, because most of the vital components of your body system is comprised of water. It's like a what you call aqueous system. Aqueous system is just the system that flows within water, like where it goes all the way back to where water existed on Earth when there weren't no water, and how microorganisms and different forms of cells actually come to what we know now as organisms is in the field of aqueous solution or aqueous state, where it's a ocean state. All life needs water for it to function or it to thrive. So it's like how oxygen is very necessary for our existence. Water predates that. Water is the vital nutrient that have organisms alive, you know, because there's 4 mental factors that has to be present for life to exist. Water is one of them, yeah. Oxygen's another, you know, and you get into more factors like DNA and RNA and etc. So our origin always go back to the sea. Yeah, so we're gonna talk more. So I can't remember where I was at now. So I was talking about the cells having presence of cytoplasm, which is fluid mixed with other nutrients that harbors the cell, yeah, the intracellular factor, and then you got the extracellular factor where you got the interstitial fluid, which penetrates out the wall of the blood circulation and enters into the interstitial space where the cells pick up the nutrients via receptors. Yeah, this is very important, the interstitial fluid, because this fluid is the gap between the cells and the red blood the blood circulation. Yeah, through that you have a waste system. The waste system we all should have heard of, which is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is like a sewer. It's a sewer waste system, and it's also attached to what you call now the immune system. We're still talking about water. I'm just kind of like going deep into everything to make you understand why we need water. So the lymphatic system is a system, another gateway, another pathway where the waste of the cells and the unused material that has been fed via the digestive system into your blood circulation get transported back. Yeah, and water needs to obviously aids that. Lymphatic systems is like another term, the waste system. The waste system is a system that picks up the byproduct of a cell's usage. Yeah, like for example, oxygen transport it by the red blood cells transport it into the cells use it for ATP, and then the burst of the energy and the byproduct, the waste product, is carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide get picked up by the red blood cells again, transport into what you call the lungs, and the lungs breathes it out. This is how the circulation of your respiratory system works. Yeah, but with proteins and nutrients protein, nutrient, fats, and etc. It's the same similar type of process. It transports through your blood circulations and enters into that interstitial fluid where the cells pick them up and use it for energy. Protein or amino acids are picked up through the same pathway, yeah, and then they're used to help build other cells. That's what amino acids are there to build. Like when people go gym, they tear their the muscle the muscle cells. It needs to rebuild back again. This is how the cells rebuild back your muscle tissues. It picks up amino acids through the dietary, and then it uses them through the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi apparatus, where it seals it up to send off to whatever destination that it needs to be for it to rebuild your cells. So this is why you need to consume protein to help build up muscles, yeah, because your cells use it to help rebuild tissue, yeah, through the endoplasmic reticulum and etc. It needs fluid for it to do so. Water is always present in muscle, so it's not so water is always needed again to even build muscle, yeah. So let me make sure so we're talking about the lymphatic system. So lymphatic system picks up, so after the cell has utilized the nutrients that it needs to do whatever job it needs to do, the waste products get picked up by the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is a system that picks up all the waste, nutrients, and even up to the dead cells and the system and etc., and then transport that into what you called your urinal system. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, urinal system. So the lymphatic system is also has gateways, like opening valves. So if so when the water penetrates this blood circulation and then ends up in the interstitial fluid, and then the fluid overloads, it opens the lymphatic system via gateway because the epithelial cells, and then the water gets transported into the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system pushes the solution all the way throughout your body, picking up other solutions, yeah, waste products I'm talking about, and then transport them into what you called the veins, yeah. But through before doing so, it gets a check-in, yeah. So all the waste products that it picks up from via cells, all the waste products from dead cells and etc., have to go through the lymphatic system to come out of your body. But before it do so, it has to go through checkpoints, because in those systems like the blood capillary, you might pick up foreign invaders. Yeah, this is why the immune system is very important when it comes to lymphatic system, because when the fluid flows through, it goes through a check which is called the limnoids. Yeah, the limnoids is the checking points that a lot of people go and check underneath the bumps, underneath your neck and different parts of your body to feel your limnoids, you know. And limnoids is where the immune system harbors the lymphocytes, the macrophages, the immunoglobulins. So this is where the fluid of your waste products have to enter before it enters into what you call the urinal system. Yeah, so it has to go through a checkpoint. That same again, water is the fluid that helps flow the waste product into what you call the urinal system. In the lymphatic system, the water is called lymph fluid. Yeah, so just different names that water has been called in different parts of your body where it harbors. All of this is still the contribution of water transporting the waste or the nutrients around your body. When it goes into your urinal system is composed of the liver, which do a double check, yeah, and then your kidneys, yeah, is like what you call the filter system. Your filter organ is your kidneys, yeah. Within inside the kidneys, you have what you call the kidneys, and then you got the uterus, yeah, the uretus, yeah, no, I might have pronounced that wrong. And then you got the bladder, and then you got obviously where you release out the urine. But the urine is made in your liver, yeah, because it helps with the synthesizing amino acids, which causes ammonia to occur and then get converted into urinal, which then transports into what you call the kidney for you to release it out of your pith. It also converts waste product into what you call your colon, where your large colon, where you flush out the bigger extracts of your waste through your anal. Yeah, so the liver is very vital when it comes to those systems, you know, of letting waste travel out. Yeah, water is present within the kidneys. The liver also needs water to function. So all of these systems are working under the aqueous pathway of the usage of water. Yeah, the brain also uses water, the neurons, and then also filter out the waste. That's why it's very important for when you go sleep or you have enough sleep, so your neurons can transport that waste into what you call the lymphatic system, so it can travels all the way down to urinal and then get released out or your liver transport it into what you call your colon, where you get released out. Everything has a cleansing process where it needs water. Water is very vital for body temperature to make sure that everything's at homeostasis, which is neutral. All the organs want working properly. The cells also creating APT, not ATP, needs solution form for the nutrients to even enter into the mitochondria for it to happen. This is all the functions of why you need water. Yeah, water also gives you the extra hydrogen ions. You know, that's why you have to make sure that when you pick up water, it's got the pH above 7. It's giving your body extra hydrogen ions. Yeah, hydrogen ions, because why do you need it? You need it because it acts as an antioxidants. Antioxidants are molecules that goes around and gives cells the extra electron for it to stabilize, for it to not be converted into what you call the free radical. So the antioxidants is needed because it's got the extra molecule, the extra ion, yeah, so it can feed a molecule that is unstable, which is known as a free radical, to stabilize it. And because free radicals obviously goes around and start snatching ions of other cells, disabling the cell, which later along causes what you call cancer cells. So water is needed for the extra ion content within your body. Ion content within your body, hydrogen ions. Yeah, so that's the main perspective of why you need water. Water is needed for your nutrients to transport all around to your body, and then also helps the waste transport back out of your body. There's many glands that water is used by, like sweat. You have the nasal, like it's always is used for like the mucus glands, you know, salivary glands, many glands, you know, even up to the stomach acid, helping to produce hydrochloric acid. Water has to be present, and etc. So Eazi kind of broke down the usage and the reason why you need to be drinking water. So I don't know if any family wants to ask any questions, but that was a quick one, quick understanding. But everything I spoke about is gonna be, I'm gonna break down within a diagram, so I can actually show you exactly what I've been speaking about. That's why I always like to tell you the top of my head exactly what I was saying, so I can prove it within diagrams straight after. So yeah, don't know if family wants to know, but I can end this live and jump straight back on it, just to just make sure that people has got the information and they can ask me questions straight after, blood. Get me? No family want to ask any questions, you know, because I know a few people want to ask me about fungi and mushrooms. So I'm going to jump off the live and come back so I can answer any questions that you might want to throw at me, yeah? So peace and blessings for everyone's on there, and we can start answering questions, because Eazi's got time for now, you know? So blessings. That's the water convo, and that's enough store. So 100%.